Welcome to the Vera Thomas Show, where testimony, reality and truth meet you at the front door. Perspective to propose. Politics, religion, we talk about the real world we live in. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it on the Vera Thomas Show. From purpose, uplift, encourage, inspire, motivate, and let's talk about it on the Vera Thomas Show. The Vera Thomas Show.
Hello, hello, hello. I am so excited. Oh, what's happening? Oh, okay, I see. Okay, I am so excited today about my guest, Dr. Barnsley Brown. How are you today?
I'm fantastic and so excited to be here with you, Vera. I've been looking forward to this all week.
And I've been excited to have you. And I'm going to take a few minutes and just share with our audience a little bit about Dr. Barnsley Brown. She helps heart-centered entrepreneurs who are stuck at 3K or less months to, and wait a minute, there's something missing. Okay. Months to create consistent 8 to 10K. You know what? I'll tell you what, I'm having this didn't copyright. So I'm going to give you the floor and let you share more about you and include in your introduction the question that I ask all my guests. What was your childhood like and how did it impact on you? And those of you that are watching, please share this broadcast with others because we're going to talk about some powerful stuff today. And please like, share, comment, and subscribe to Vera Thomas Show. So I'm going to give you the floor and let you just share with us.
Absolutely. So first of all, I'll just say that I love working with heart-centered entrepreneurs who are stuck making less than 3K a month. And what I love doing is helping you move into 8 to 10K consistent months in your business. And there are 3 reasons for that. Number 1, I want you to be able to stop worrying about money. Number 2, I want you to be able to pay all those bills you have piling up with ease. And number 3, I want you to be able to make the biggest impact in the world by giving to the causes that you care about. So that's what I do in my business. And I've been in business for 26 years. I've spoken for audiences of all ages. Largest audience was 1,500 people at the Corey Convention Center. Absolutely brought tears to my eyes when they gave me a standing ovation. Oh. Yes. And it was a very, very powerful group because they were educators. And I certainly ascribe so much of my success to the educators who mentored me. Because to answer your question, Vera, I grew up in a highly dysfunctional home with an alcoholic father who was also manic depressive and who would disappear for weeks on end and we wouldn't know where he was, or he'd be threatening to commit suicide. And there was just a lot of turbulence, a lot of chaos, and a lot of insecurity in my home growing up. And so it was really through school that I was able to excel and to make something of myself, and also really to be mentored by some of the best father figures and you know, female figures, mother figures too, that I could have anticipated, but especially it was important, those educators who were my father figures.
That's amazing. That's amazing that you were able to overcome that childhood to be the person that you are today. What was it that inspired you to want to focus on helping women and, well, entrepreneurs, period, earn more money? What was it that triggered that for you?
Well, I watched my mother struggle, Vera. I watched my mother struggle. She basically had 3 children. She had me, she had my brother, and then she had my father. And he couldn't keep a job. And so my mother was teaching art when she could. She was also a professional storyteller and taking us around to all her storytelling gigs. And she was doing her best to juggle being really essentially a single mom and also the breadwinner for the family. And I saw how hard it was on her. And it made me want to make sure that women especially have financial freedom. It's one of the reasons that my Get Out of Debt book is focused on women. Get out of debt, get on with your life. Every woman's guide to create prosperity with what you have right now. Because we end up usually taking care of the children, and that reduces our amount of time that we can spend in our careers. And then we have some time in our careers, and then we end up taking care of the aging family members or the ill family members. And so that takes time out from our careers as well. And by the time we get to retirement, we are poverty stricken in many cases. Women are one of the largest categories of poor people in retirement. And so I'm just on a mission to change this. And I also am on a mission to change this because we, as women, when we have financial freedom, Vera, we don't stay in an untenable situation. We don't stay in a marriage that's unhappy. We get out. I got out of my marriage. And the reason I was able to do that is I had enough financial awareness and power and fitness at that time to be able to get out and to build my own. I had actually never been supported by a man. And so I was used to being able to make my own way and used to needing to make my own way, having that be necessary. Oh, there goes the cat. He's joined us. That was Mochi saying he totally understands and appreciates this message. He endorses this message.
That's awesome. And so talk to me about women who feel that they don't know how to make this money. They don't know how, and they figure, and it could be a mindset kind of thing where they're just not feeling that they're capable of doing so. And we have someone. Good evening, King Hazy. Hello, hello. Thank you for joining us, and please share with others. So what do you say to women who say, well, you were able to do that? And I know, like, leaving out of a marriage and not having the wherewithal, not having the money, but leaving the marriage anyway because it's the best thing for them and their children. So what would you say to women that they don't see it? They don't see how they can generate the kind of money that you're talking about.
Well, you know, I have all these, actually, there's a section of my book that would be perfect to read about this very thing that you're talking about. Because usually what we're doing is we have this whole suitcase filled with our abilities, our skills, our hobbies, all the things that we know how to do, many of which we don't even realize could be turned into a viable business. So, for example, I worked with someone who had just always loved to make cakes. And she realized, wow, I could be making wedding cakes. I could be making birthday cakes. And guess what? Everybody has birthdays. That's a great thing to do. And people will spend a lot of money, especially on those children's birthday cakes that are personalized to whatever character or theme they're using that year.
Yeah.
And so she began to make cakes and made a really profitable business out of this, out of something that she simply enjoyed. So I would say, first of all, don't discount your hobbies.
Absolutely.
Do not discount your hobbies, right, Vera?
Absolutely. Discover your passion. Your hobbies are a part of your passions, or else you would not be doing them. And if you can discover your passions through your hobbies and through the things that you love to do, then that can help move you in the direction that Dr. Barnsley is talking about. Anyway,
and the other thing is be open to receive, and be on the lookout for opportunity. I'll share a little bit. When I was first starting my business 26 years ago, and it was me and 4 mouths to feed, and the 4 mouths were all furry, Vera. 2 cats and 2 dogs, right? But I still had to feed them. Yes. And I had a mortgage payment, and I was paying off my educational loans. I remember in the first few months of my business, I became profitable. But at the same time, I remember just thinking, oh, how am I going to make more mortgage payment one of these months? And literally within 5 days of when it was due, I received an inheritance from a step grandfather that essentially helped me pay for that mortgage that month. Wow. And so it was one of those gifts from God. I also received a strange refund of taxes, some kind of intangibles tax, and that made the rest of the mortgage payment. So God is good.
Yes,
and
he
when
is.
We're on, yes, and when we are on our powerful mission, and we're open and we're asking, there are ways that things show up in our lives. So, for example, I used to salsa dance very avidly. That was my exercise program during graduate school. I loved to salsa dance and bachata and cumbia, all these Central American and South American dances. And I would go every Friday to a restaurant that would basically serve food till a certain hour, and then they would take their dance floor and it would become a dance place for people to go. And it wasn't a bar atmosphere, though. They did have a bar. It was a restaurant. And I remember them asking me one week, hey, would you be willing to teach a class for a wedding? They want a class in salsa and in cumbia. And I said, absolutely, let's do it. And everyone was from ages 7 up to like 80 years old. It was such a range of people, I remember, Vera. And it went really fantastic because I'm a teacher at heart. I used the microphone and got everybody laughing and enjoying themselves. And after that, they said, well, would you come back on Friday and would you teach a lesson right after we close down the restaurant, before we have all the open dancing? And I said, sure. Well, this ended up being something that paid me $500 a month, doing something I already enjoyed doing. And then I actually began to teach classes, private classes, which people paid handsomely to come and take. And all of that came out of being willing and being open to opportunity and showing up to do something that I really loved, that was, good for my health and good for socialization too.
Wow, sounds like Arthur Murray Studios.
Not quite. We were very much just really I wouldn't say the street dancers, but we were not the flourishing, perfectly graceful dancers, but we were dancers who had heart.
Yes, and that's what matters. And dancing is, I love to dance. And dancing is such great exercise, and is such a great way to release tensions and all those other kinds of things. And that's awesome that you were able, and people don't understand, a lot of times just being in the right place at the right time to meet the right people can open those doors. And that's why it's important to kind of get out there and meet people and find things that you can do that may well lead you to your purpose and your passion.
And you want to find where your hobbies, your passions, and your expertise intersect, because usually there's something you can monetize there. So let's say you love travel and you also love gardening. You could certainly become a travel writer who writes about different gardens all across the world and publishes your material for people who are garden enthusiasts. If you're someone who loves cooking and you love writing, you could write cookbooks. You could do like Mama Dips, who was from here in North Carolina and had New York Times bestsellers, because out of her very famous restaurant, she would write these incredible cookbooks of Southern soul food cooking, and people would buy. And still to this day, actually, she passed away a long time ago, but every time that somebody came into town in Chapel Hill, they had to go to Mama Dips. And her daughter now has her own place, carrying on that legacy of cooking and recipe writing, recipes, books. So it really is about finding your expertise, your skills, and your passion and putting them all together. And here's the other thing I want to say, Vera. Stories keep coming to mind. I used to drive up and down this particular road, and I would often see a man mowing by the side of the road. Well, the interesting thing about this man is he had no arms. He had no arms, but he would mow using his shoulders or his feet, and he would mow. And he was known, this was his business, and he was well known in Chapel Hill. He made a living mowing yards, mowing residential and non-residential properties, made a living without arms.
Oh my goodness.
So what I want to say to everybody, you only have to even put into Google painters without arms or paralyzed painters, and you will have come up people who have no feeling whatsoever in anything except for their face and their lips, who are painting beautiful paintings and selling their paintings. But why? Because they don't have the attitude of why me?
Right.
Why me?
The victim mentality. Yeah.
They do not have a victim mentality. Instead, they find opportunity. And so there is always something that you can do and actually I have a report called 7 Ways to Make or Save $700 in 7 days. And I'm updating it right now. But when I get it done, Vera, I'm certainly happy to share that with you for you to share on your email list,
awesome.
Which people should obviously join. You should join
Yes.
Vera's email list so you can
Yes.
find out about all the incredible things that she's doing. But there is always something we can do. There's always something in our house that we don't need that we can be selling on Facebook Marketplace. There's always something we can be trading for what we need. I've traded for childcare. I've traded for legal services. I've traded for image consulting, all sorts of stuff in exchange for the things that I offer. And it's fun to trade. It's fun to barter, because then somebody has an opportunity to actually try what you offer, and you can get a testimonial.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. You are giving such nuggets, because again, people feel so limited. But if you think about your God-given talents and gifts, and he said, I knew the plans I had for you before you were born. So if he knew that, he gave you what you needed in order to get where he wants you to go. And with you I just admire you so much, because you have the wherewithal to really make a difference in people's lives. And I just admire that in you so much.
Yeah, I can make a difference in animal lives too. Because I love rescuing animals. And that's another thing I would say to everyone is that, we really haven't opened up yet the 3 secrets to financial fitness and power. But I will say that one of them involves giving, being a giver, because we are meant to circulate the energy. God gave us money, right? If we were in Botswana, it would be cattle that we'd be trading, cattle and chickens and livestock. If we were outside of the big city, then we would be trading in our livestock. But here we have paper money, and it's just a symbol. And notice what it says on the money. It says, "In God we trust."
We trust, yes.
In God we trust. We are meant to be abundant. We have a divine birthright of abundance. And so I actually think it's selfish for us not to embody that abundance. And in fact, you know the story of the oil lamp in the Bible, right?
Yes, yes.
What were the women told to do? They were told to fill up, I can't remember, was it Martha or it doesn't matter, but they were told to take what oil they had, just to take what oil they had, and it would be increased. And it is just like the story of the fishes and the loaves.
Yes.
You know, that was, and the wedding party where there was ample wine, even though they'd run out of wine. You know, there is a way that we can multiply by giving. And so I always say to people, when things are a little tight for you in general in your life, maybe you're not having as much flow of money as you want, give more. But remember that you can give not only your treasure, your money, but you can give your time.
Yes.
And you can give your talent.
Yes, exactly. And that's exactly what I was going to say. If you do not have money, but there may be, I mean, even, you know, I pray a lot. And so being able to pray for people just because, and, you know, that's a form of giving, or calling someone and just giving of your time, talking to encourage others. That's another way. Whatever your talents are, you know, being able to just give in one way or the other is, I can understand and relate to that.
So important. And we all have something to give. We all have something to give. So I would say to the person who's saying, well, I don't know what I would do to make money, or I don't know, I would say that you're already sitting on a suitcase stuffed with belongings, stuffed with ideas, stuffed with skills that you already have. And instead of sitting on that suitcase, open it and find what's inside. Open it and find the treasure that's in there, which involves taking a risk.
Yes.
It involves taking a risk. It's not easy. I remember when I walked away from a tenure track job, same day, I had the guy who'd been confused, Vera, show up at my door asking for a second chance. And I had a tenure track job offer. And the same day, I said no to both. And I started my own business. Now, I felt like at that time, there was nothing else I had to lose. It was like, well, let's just throw everything up and see what happens. Let's throw it in the air and find out what happens. And thankfully, you know, bit by bit, I built. But this is another reason I do the work I do with people, getting people who are at 2K or 3K or less a month, getting them up in that range of 8 to 10K, which takes you into six figures. The reason I do that for heart-centered entrepreneurs is because it took me over 13 years to get there myself. And I found out the hard, long way how to do it.
Well,
so now I can shorten that trajectory for people.
But what about people that are making less than 3K?
They're making what?
Less.
Yeah, that's included. Anyone who's making less than 3K a month.
Okay. And
anybody, zero. You know, I have had clients who start from zero. And there's no problem with that. They start from zero. And in fact, I'm thinking about somebody who started her network marketing business, and she started with zero. And in just 3 weeks, she had over $3,500 of sales from being in my program.
Wow.
Yes. In just 3 weeks, brand new business.
Wow.
Brand new. And I'm thinking about another person who started out, and within 5 days, she had 4 new clients. and they were paying clients. All right. She'd been doing the work she was doing, but she'd been giving it away. And we created 4 new clients within the first 5 days of her being in the program. So I have a way of working with people, Vera, that doesn't let them fall through the cracks, which is what happens in the larger programs, right?
Yes.
And it happens in the programs that are not meant to deal with people who are in those lower, 3K and less, 0 to 3K range. If you're into your business for 15 years and you're making multiple 6 figures, what you're going to do in your business is very different from what you do when you're just starting out.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so there are 3 secrets. The first one is giving. What is number 2?
Well, the first one, actually, I have a way of calling it appreciate your assets. Okay.
That's number 1.
That is actually number 3, but it's okay. We'll call it number 1 right now, since it came up first. Appreciate your assets. And this is where you give back to the sources of your spiritual support. Now, I interpret that very, very widely. So that can be your church, your synagogue. It could be your meditation group. It might be your Reiki teacher who teaches you hands-on healing. It might be your spiritual director. You have a spiritual counselor. It might be your minister. It might be the waiter or waitress who says something to you that changes your day for the better. It might be an author. I noticed you have books, Vera, and it might be an author whose book you read and you just want to tithe to them and just send them a surprise tithe. It could be you becoming a patron of Vera's show.
Yes.
But to appreciate your assets. So those things that are increasing your spiritual prosperity, abundance, consciousness, you want to give back to. So for example, I just wrote a check to Silent Unity, which is a prayer ministry that's been around for over 100 years. And I absolutely love whenever there's any prayer that needs to happen. I'm on the prayer team at my church, but I love to call their line, which is 1-800-NOW-PRAY, by the way.
Okay, let me put that down.
1-800-NOW-PRAY, and it's free. You can call day or night and have someone pray with you about whatever situation it is or whatever person needs prayer. I usually have a list that I put in myself, actually, Vera, but 1-800-NOW-PRAY. So I wrote a check out to Silent Unity because I've received so much good from the prayers that I've received. And so periodically I send a check out.
That's
and I'm grateful. As I write the check, I give thanks.
Yes.
And I affirm. I actually don't see anything as a bill. This is another point for everyone. It's not really one of the secrets that we were going to talk about today, but it's an important point. Don't pay bills. Okay, now what do I mean by that? Don't pay bills. Pay contributions. Because when you pay to your bank, or you pay the guy who mows your lawn, or you pay for the paper that you purchased at the Office Depot, you're paying everyone else in that supply chain that's been involved in bringing that service or product to you. So you become a benefactor for many families who are relying upon what you are paying to support them. So you're a benefactor.
And I love the fact that you turn around how we are thinking about certain things. Like, instead of paying your bills, you're actually contributing. When you pay your gas or your electric bill, you're actually contributing to others' survival. In essence, that's
and
beautiful.
God likes a happy giver.
Yes.
If we're giving begrudgingly, we shouldn't give it all. But the fact of the matter is that when you find things are rather lean or tight for you, open up and give more. And I guarantee you the phone will start ringing, opportunities will start coming your way, and wild things will happen. Today, Vera, I shared with you that today I went for the 6-month mammogram. I had stage 1
Yes.
breast cancer earlier this year, and I'm so grateful that it was just stage 1, and it was found in a routine mammogram. Everyone, please get your mammograms regularly. I had in fact been told that I didn't need to do them except every couple of years, and I was very adamant, no, I need my mammogram every year, and I'm so glad I advocated for myself. But today I went to get my my mammogram, and everything looked great, and had another meeting with one of the doctors. And I walked outside and I said, you know, I really should look at that table where they have books, you know, because people will bring books or they'll knit things for people who've lost their hair, and folks will just leave stuff there and you can take what you want. And so I walked over, and immediately the book that caught my eye was on rest. And I've been talking all about rest, and this was about rest as joy. It's a whole book with daily things about rest. And I said, thank you, God, that is perfectly made for me. Thank you so much. And then the other thing is, I had been thinking, Vera, that I really needed an eye cream. I don't have an eye cream. And, you know, I wanted an eye cream to just soften up around my eyes and take away dark circles.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked down, and there's an eye cream, a brand new eye cream. I looked it up on Amazon. Do you know how much this thing sells for?
What?
$25.
And let me tell you, I have been saying that I need to get something to get rid of this line, this deep line here. And yesterday, this young lady called me and she said, Miss Vera, I bought this product that puffs your face, that the collagen, and I want to give that to you. I was like, ah! And it's like you speak things into existence.
Exactly. You
Yeah.
speak it, and then you're open to receive it, and you believe that you're
Yes.
deserving of it.
Yes. So
Because,
here,
you know, we
yes.
must be good stewards of what we're given. If we're not good stewards, so for example, if somebody tries to give us something, we're like, oh, no, no, give that to somebody else. Somebody else needs it more. If we do something like that, we've basically repelled the abundance that God and the universe are trying to give us.
Yes.
So we've got to be willing to accept it and then say, thank you, God. Thank you so much for that gift.
Absolutely. And I have heard people say, you're blocking my blessing when you don't take what I'm offering you.
Yes.
You know, so it's a reciprocal kind of thing. If someone is willing and offering to give you something, they are being blessed as they are blessing you. And we need to understand that and appreciate it. There's nothing like gratitude. Talk about gratitude and being grateful for even little things, just being grateful for little things.
Well, here's the thing. The power of knowing you can give is huge. Do not be selfish and deny someone the power of knowing they have something to give. How beautiful is that?
Beautiful.
Don't be selfish and deny the thing that is letting them feel good because they're able to give. Don't deny them that pleasure. It's so very, 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 very true. And so, you know, I think the appreciate your assets is giving back to all the sources of your spiritual support, appreciating as in increasing, and appreciating as in giving gratitude for the fact that you do have things to give. You do have time to give. You do have talent to give. You do have treasure to give. You do have love to give.
Yes.
You do have kindness to give.
Yes.
You have so much to give. You are a vessel of the divine here on the planet. And if you, I don't know if you've noticed, but I've noticed that Jesus isn't here right now.
Right.
You know, and so we are the hands of
Yes.
the divine.
Yes.
If we're willing to be. We are the hands and the hearts and the mouths of the divine.
I love that.
And being a vessel of the divine means that we're like that lamp that gets filled with oil if we're willing.
Yes.
If we're willing to be filled and replenished with that oil.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So what's the next secret?
Well, the first secret, because we went to number 3, but the first secret is one that I never hear books on prosperity talk about, and this is how I'm very different. And this is that you need to know your highest values in life. You need to know very clearly what your highest values in life are. And you need to align your spending of your time, energy, money, and love and focus with those highest values. All right, let me repeat that. So you need to know what your highest values are in life, and those should be 3 to 5 highest values that you have. And you need to align your spending of time, energy, money, love, and focus with those highest values. So, for example, if you say that your highest value is health, but then you're smoking 3 packs of cigarettes every day, you're obviously not aligning the spending of your time or your money with that highest value of health. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
So, and if you say one of your highest values is fun, which is definitely one of mine, but all you're doing is working all the time, you are not aligning the spending of your time, your energy, your love, even your money with one of your highest values. So you're out of alignment, you're incongruent.
Wow. This is this is great because today with the class that I'm teaching, we were talking about values and what's important to them. And I didn't associate aligning your time, energy, money, love, and focus with your highest values. That's profound.
That's your litmus test for life. It's your litmus test for life. So I would say to everyone here, and you can put this up in the chat, would love to have some interaction with folks listening. So
Yes.
yeah, so put up there what your highest values are. And so for example, I'll share a few of mine. Mine are fun, spirituality, abundance, lifelong learning, and family of choice. Now, I say family of choice because my actual family is very, very small. So I have a much larger family of choice. You're
Yes.
one of them, Vera. So
Thank
we have family of choice that are the people who are of like mind, who we enjoy being around, who understand us and we understand them. And
Yes.
to be with your family of choice is a wonderful thing.
It
But if you
is.
align your life to that, you'll not only create the fun that I enjoy too, but you can also align it with your other values like lifelong learning. And you can go with your family of choice and do something together where you learn together. I think
Yes.
our best expense of our time, because we never get time back. We
Right.
can get money back, but we can't get time back.
Right.
The best spending of our time is always if we can hit 2 or more of our highest values. So, Vera, let me ask you, what are your highest values? Let's give them some other ideas.
My highest value, I it's important that I'm able to uplift, encourage, motivate, inspire, and educate. That is very important to me. And I want to do that no matter where I am, whether I'm making money doing it or not. That is my highest, those are the things that are really important to me to be able to do those things. And like you said, you're choosing the family, because my immediate family, they're all gone. My siblings are gone. And so being able to choose like you, people like you as part of my family,
Mhm.
um, and having that connection with them, that is important to me as well. It really is. And my
Mhm.
faith is very important because he said that his word would be a light unto your feet and a lamp unto your path. And where's that noise coming from?
It's okay, just a buzzer here.
Okay. And so the word is very important to me. And being able to stand on the word, being able to pray using the word, because he said his word does not return into him void. And if we trust that, then he answers our prayers. And so those are things that are really important to me.
So I would say to you, to challenge you a little with that first list that you gave of inspiring, educating, etc., motivating, choose one that is the highest one for you. The one that, and maybe it's inspire.
Encourage.
Encourage. Okay, perfect. Encourage. And just keep asking yourself, is that the word that best encompasses who I am? I'm an encourager, or I've often said that my superpower is being a spiritual catalyst. So you could think about what is it that I'm here really, if I had to boil down every bit of my ability and what I love doing with and for people, what word would I boil it down to? And I think if encourager is a powerful one, or uplifter.
Yes. But that's how I see myself.
So those of you listening, I want you to really think about, what are these words? You should have 3 to 5 words that will encompass what you care about, maybe even 3 to 6, because there is one more that I add to my list that will be the 6th one. And that one is, I used to call it service. I used to say that service was my value. And then I realized one day it's really not a value. It's what comes out of the value. So the value is kindness. Yes. The actual value is valuing kindness, and service is how it shows up in the world.
Yeah, I love that. Yes. And we're lacking in kindness. We're lacking in empathy in this country. Mm-hmm. And that's why it's incumbent upon each of us to be that for each other and for even strangers. Just be kind. Why not? Why not be kind? We don't need all that negative energy that's just zapping everything,
Well, the thing is that how we treat someone else is going to be how we treat ourselves.
Thank you. Absolutely.
How we treat others is really a picture of how we treat ourselves. So, the verse, love your neighbor as yourself.
Right, but
it's got too many. It's got 2 meanings. It's not only love your neighbor as yourself, like, treat your neighbor kindly as you do yourself, but love your neighbor as yourself. Yes. That you are one. You and your neighbor are one.
Yes.
Yet one in the spirit.
Yes.
Right? One body, many parts.
Yes.
And to treat your neighbor as part of yourself. I believe we cannot dehumanize someone else without dehumanizing ourselves.
Absolutely. I am right there with you, and people don't understand. And the fact is, you cannot love anybody else if you don't love yourself. You can't. It's not possible. It's not, and I love how we treat others is how we treat ourselves. How we treat ourselves is how we treat others. And if we're not showing love to ourselves, love for ourselves, and I saw tattoos on a person. And on their knuckles, I'm not naming names or anything, but on their knuckles, they had loser. On their arm, they had white trash. On their, and then another one had 0 on their knuckles. And seeing that, it touched me. I was like, find a way to get that off your arm. Find a way to remove that from your knuckles. Mm-hmm. And they were saying, I said, is that how you see yourself? He said, that's how I used to see myself. Well, let's get rid of it. Let's get rid of it, But, I mean, can you imagine?
It's terrible.
It is.
And You know, the thing is, those knuckles are used to create a fist. So the fist of the loser goes out to hit others, calling them losers, right? Those hurt people hurt other people.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Hurt people hurt people. And that's why that self-love is so important. So important. And being able to help other people understand that everything starts here.
And you know
Everything.
what, Vera? Part of loving ourselves is allowing ourselves to be great stewards of our resources and allowing ourselves to be divinely prospered, you know, with our divine birthright of abundance. And I like to point out that, you know, people kind of think of Jesus as wearing rags, but in fact, Jesus had robes that were beautiful, that were very expensive.
Mhm.
Jesus had patrons who were supporting him, kind of like Mother Teresa when she was alive, you know, had people supporting her mission. She couldn't have done it otherwise.
Right.
And so just think about that, lest you think that you have to be a beggar to be spiritual, that there's something noble about being without. There is nothing noble about being without, because if you are a good person before you have money, you're going to be a good person after you have money. And if you are a bad person before you have money, you're going to be a bad person, or as I say, an asswipe. You're going to be, if you're an asswipe before money, you're going to be an asswipe after money. And
You know, and he said, I come that you might have life and have it more abundantly. You know, that's
Absolutely.
what his desire is for us. But we've
And
got to
so-
believe it.
And so, really, if we think about that, all right, the meaning of the word sin is actually error, ERROR, error thinking. That's the original meaning. And so, it is error thinking when we believe that we are lacking, when we believe in scarcity, that there's not enough. That is error thinking. We have to take the oil we have. I keep coming back to that metaphor. Take what you've got and make something with it. Take what you've got and make something with it. Okay, I've got to tell this story. I create these bags, okay? It's just something I do. I have toiletries from traveling and so forth. And so I'll create bags for the homeless. I'll buy socks and I'll buy toothbrushes and toothpaste and some non-perishable goodies like, you know, fruit snacks and crackers and that kind of thing, and water. And put all these together so that when I see someone who is panhandling, I can give them this package, and it's a nice gift, and everyone's always excited. It's always fun. It's like Christmas. So I went to the other day and I was driving along, and there was this guy, and he comes running up with this cooler, and he's selling soft drinks from his cooler. And he has his waters that are $1 and he has his soft drinks that are $2. Well, I didn't need a soft drink, but I had to get a soft drink. I was like, do you have Diet Coke? I don't even like Diet Pepsi. He said, I have Diet Pepsi. Oh, great. I can't wait to have one. And he was so excited. He looked at me and just the excitement in his eyes.
Yes.
I said, oh, I'm so excited. Thank you. I needed a cold drink. And, you know, I'm so excited for your entrepreneurial spirit. And so we just had this wonderful moment. It was a really sacred exchange. And he was in that median, that little median about this wide, rolling his cooler up and down. Some people were just giving him money, but many were purchasing. And he was so excited to have his business.
Yes.
Now that is an example of someone. You could do the math on it. Maybe he was spending 50 cents each one of those, and he's selling for $2. That's pretty good return on investment. That's a 200% return.
Yes. And you know,
Right?
there are young people in Atlanta that do that. They're standing on the street selling water and things like that to make money. And they're teenagers, you know, young people doing that.
Yeah.
And, you know, age is not the issue. There are so many young people that already have that mindset, you know, and they're actually trying to have an entrepreneurial spirit that needs to be nurtured and fostered and embraced
and guided.
and guided.
And that's the thing. I tried to piece together pieces of what I needed when I was a new business owner. And I really needed a program like what I offer. And so I created my Make It Happen Mastermind to actually fill the needs that I saw new business owners needed and what I had needed, but tried to piece together. And it was a really mismatched quilt. Let's just put it that way. It didn't, and it did not keep you warm in winter. So very important, very important. Yes, I'm glad you're putting up there the freebie vault. This, you all, you can help yourself to thousands of dollars of gifts. These are from the guests on my show, the Bold Badass Business Show. Go help yourself. And Vera, run that one more time so they can see that bit.ly and grab it. Help yourself.
Right. What everybody. I'm doing is putting it, I needed to copy it so that I can put it in the comments.
So you'll go to bit.ly/free from Dr. B, bit.ly/free from Dr. B, and just help yourself. There's so many things in there. There are courses, there are mind movies, there are all sorts of things that you can get. Videos, everything under the ebooks, all sorts of things that you can look through and choose what you most want. Yes. So I want to give you all the third secret before we wrap, and that is to ask your wise woman within, okay, or maybe your wise man within. You know, if you think about it in terms of the wise men, they brought frankincense, myrrh, and what was it? Gold? Is that right?
They brought, gold, silver, frankincense
and myrrh,
yes.
All of which had a very high perceived value, right? But we want to ask our wise woman within, or our wise man within, what is the next step for myself? What do I need to do? What would bring more abundance into my life? How can I be a better steward of my resources? So we want to ask some deep questions. Who do I need to ask for help? So we want to ask that wise woman or wise man within, and we want to be quiet and listen to the answer. You know, the difference between prayer is supplication, but meditation is listening. So to ask, how can I be a better servant? How can I embody abundance better? How can I be a better steward of all the resources that I've been given? And boy, the biggest resource of all is that we're alive. We're
yes. And you know, if we just are grateful for being alive, then the attitudes and the negativity that is around us would dissipate. Just being alive. I mean, and I speak from having lost so many loved ones, mother, sisters, brother, you know, just being alive is enough to be grateful for. Mm-hmm. And we need to embrace that. We really, really do. We need to embrace it.
I totally agree with you. We need to embrace it and celebrate it and use this allocation of time that we've been given. You know, we've all had that experience of you get to a point and you say, oh my gosh, who is this person? I'm looking at the mirror. You know, I'm looking at my mother now. You know, the time passes so quickly. Quickly.
Yes.
I'm very aware of this with my first grandbaby. She's now 13 and a half months. And, you know, it seems like just yesterday that she was being born.
Your first one? Well,
yes, my first one. And so to everyone here, I would say, how much more time are you going to wait?
Yes.
To change your life and to change the abundance in your life.
Yes.
Would it be okay, Vera, for me to give a coupon code to those who want to purchase the Get Out of Debt, Get On With Your Life package?
Yes, put it in the private chat.
Would that be okay?
Yes.
All right. So those of you who would like to purchase that, which is on my website at www.spirited, SPIRITED solutions, SOLUTIONS.com. And make sure you put the dash in between,
Now, what is this good 20?
solutions.com.
Okay. What is this?
Good 20 is going to be the promo code. Did I give you good 20? I mean, good 10. Good
Okay.
10 is the promo code that you're going to put in when you check out, and it's going to give you $10 off. And it is a package that has 2 books and an audio, The Top Secrets to Prosper in the Life of Your Dreams. So it's got
Okay.
2 books and an audio.
And I want to put the name of it in the chat along with the.
Yes, it's the Get Out of Debt, Get On with Your Life package.
Okay, let me put this book down. And let me put this.
And they'll
okay.
find it at my website under products.
Get Out of Debt.
Get On with Your Life. Every Woman's Guide to Create Prosperity with What You Have Right Now.
Wow.
So if the things that we've been talking about, these 3 secrets, if these have appealed to you, I'll tell you that the book package will really appeal to you because it's got the consciousness raising part, which is all in the large book. This is all about the consciousness of abundance, and it has affirmations, it has a bibliography, it has all sorts of stuff that you can use to create. It's got exercises at the end of every chapter for you to create abundance. And then it comes with 50 nifty ways to prosper right now, which has 50 ways, specific ways you can save money. And in fact, one of the things can save you thousands of dollars on your mortgage. And then it comes with an audio, the top 3 secrets to prosper in the life of your dreams. So the $10 off coupon that I put up there is good on the ebook version of it, which will be delivered immediately to your email.
Now,
So
does that come with the audio as well?
Mm-hmm. It does. It comes with both books and the audio.
Okay, and that is also a part of your coaching.
Part of my coaching is helping people it's very interesting to actually get out of debt while they're also building their business, and not to go into debt while they're building their business. So I've had people, Vera, with everything from over $50,000 of debt to over $150,000 and $200,000 of debt, and I've helped them bring it down to 0.
Wow.
While we also create, there are 2 things we want to do. We want to bring down the debt, and we want to increase the income. And those 2 happen together.
Okay. And this How to Overcome Overwhelm in 7 Easy Steps?
That's a complimentary ebook for everybody.
Okay.
We don't want to give everyone too much stuff, but you can go get the complimentary ebook at my website. Make sure you put the dash in
let me put the website back up.
But
here.
for those of you who really want help with the abundance, you're going to want to use that good 10 promo code and get $10 off the Get Out of Debt, Get On with Your Life package, which has 2 books and an audio in it. And that's on the ebook version. So as soon as you order, it will be delivered to you, which is really cool. You don't have to wait for it to be shipped.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And go to her website, www.spirited-solutions.com. Get the free gifts. Use the coupon to get out of debt and get on with your life.
Yes. Hallelujah. Amen.
Yes. Well, we got a couple. Oh, I do want to let everyone know that I am doing a family summit called Family Powerhouse. Greatness starts at home. And right now, we are at the stage where we're looking for presenters. It's going to be on September 15th through 17th from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're looking for 12 awesome presenters to be a part of this for families. And when I say families, we're including children, teenagers, adult children who may be having some concerns with their parents. It's for the whole family, family powerhouse. So if you are interested in being one of the guests or being one of the presenters, then send me a DM on Facebook or schedule a time with me at bit.ly/Vera Thomas. And I am trying to remove this, and let me put that back up here for you to go to bit.ly Vera Thomas and schedule a time to talk about how you can be a part of this awesome summit that's coming up in September. All right, and with that, I am going to give you the last words. We're out of time, but I'm going to give you the last words.
Well, I would just say to everyone, remember, number one, appreciate your assets. Give and appreciate, make increase in your assets and be grateful for them. Number two, align your values and your spending of your time, energy, money, and resources, and your love, your focus. And then number three, ask that wise woman or wise man within. And if you'll follow these three directives, you'll find that you begin to experience much more abundance in your life.
Love it. Love it. Well, listen, thank you so much for being here. God bless you. And don't forget to subscribe to the Vera Thomas Show. And if you would like to donate, you can go to Cash App, $Instill Great, or Venmo at VT1117. God bless you all, and we will see you next week. Have a wonderful weekend. And remember all the things that we talked about, and find that inner power that's within you to prosper and succeed. So God bless. And if you wouldn't mind holding on for a minute, I would appreciate it. So we will see you all next week.
Let's talk about it on the Vera Thomas Show. The Vera Thomas Show.